welcome back to another ASMR video. This is not a typical coding ASMR video, but it's a video explaining the whole Backrooms creepypasta. So, before we begin, this is Akshan. He is my favorite character in League of Legends. He is really sneaky, and he likes to swing around and hide. So in this video, he's gonna hide, and at one part, he's gonna swing around and pop in. If you happen to find him, comment down below the timestamp where you find him. So, imagine you are living in reality. You're walking down a park. It's really nice. You could see the trees, the birds, enjoying nature. And then you come across a few walls, and then you happen to read the sign says, "Be careful of falling ice." And then you just feel the walls, but you somehow do not feel the walls. You just happen to go through the wall out of nowhere. I think what you have experienced is that you've noclipped, and then you don't know what happened. You just find yourself in a different place. It's like a place you've never seen before. It has nothing. You just see all yellow. That's the first thing you see, all yellow. So what you are right now is a room that's yellow. It's made with mushy walls that are made with wallpaper, as if it's from the 1990s. And you try to find where you are at, figure out where you are, and you go to another room, and you find out it is a very similar room. And then there's some other doorways that lead to other rooms. And then the rooms are the same thing. Those walls, the floors that are mushy. There are like soggy floors. And then the ceiling is comprised of randomly placed fluorescent neon lights that emit this strange buzzing noise. The noise is really loud that it is echoed through the room. So what you are now is a place called the Backrooms. A place that is disjoint from reality. The only way that you have got in here is no clipping through reality. So, this room, it's repeating, except that those rooms are unique, and the area that is stretched is millions and millions of square miles, or kilometers if you live in Canada. More surface area than on Earth. So, this is level 0. There are 3 distinct levels for the main, as far as the main portion of the Backrooms. There are many more levels that are unheard of or less known, but there's like 3 of the most common ones. So there is level 0, level 1, and level 2. You're now at level 0. So level 0 is a really vast maze of yellowish monocolored rooms, wallpapered, made out of wallpaper. Those floors are mushy, it's soggy, it's kind of wet. You try to walk, it's kind of wet. And you happen to walk in a few rooms, but you might come across these creatures that wander around these Backrooms. Those unknown creatures that are not human, they're like humanoid creatures. So if you see one, try to not make contact with them and try to go to another room as if he didn't see them. So you may wonder, how can you get out of these rooms? So you gotta navigate to the rooms, and if you're lucky, you may come across a place that is kind of out of place, a wall, let's say, that is probably a little bit off, that is not part of it. And you can walk through that wall, and there's some subtle hints like a different color, a different hue, a different saturation. But I think if you go through that, you either go back to reality, or you happen to be not lucky and proceed downwards to another level. So yeah, this is basically kind of a luck based RNG factor. So you're either lucky enough to go back to Earth or go deeper into this Backrooms world, let's just say. And so, like I said, there are 3 levels: level 0, level 1, and level 2. So, in order to proceed from 0 to 1, you gotta stay and walk around the current level you're at, level 0. And in order to get to level 1, you have to walk around for like days or weeks. Wander mindlessly. So you have explored level 0 long enough to reach to level 1. And you'll know that you're at level 1 when you've noticed the rooms are not yellowish anymore. Instead, at level 1, the walls are more whitish concrete, made out of concrete instead of wallpaper. And it's not as bright as level 0. It's a little bit darker. And the floor is kind of concrete too. So these kind of rooms, it looks like you are in a warehouse, but you're not exactly in a warehouse. The rooms are made to look like that it's inside a warehouse, but you're actually not. It's the same labyrinth of rooms that go on for miles and miles and miles. And it's not as quiet, it's a bit more louder than level 1, because you could hear sounds that come from machinery, mechanical noises, such as vacuum cleaners maybe, or generators, anything that come from machines. So the lights may seem to start to flicker at this point. Lights would flicker as you go. At first it's not that much, but as you explore more and more, the frequency of when the lights flicker will be more often. So the lights will flicker more and more. And even the lights may start to turn off completely and then come back a few seconds later. And during the time when the lights are out, you may see some slight changes or something. Anything can happen in the dark, even for a small moment. Maybe that might happen, but the beings there are a little bit more aggressive than, let's say, level 0. Imagine you are at a big indoor parking lot from the store, from like of a mall. That's the place that's kind of like level 1. And yeah, so you're stuck at level 1. In order to get out of level 1 and reach level 2. You have to once again explore. Explore around level 1. Venture off, explore the place enough. And then eventually the rooms will kind of narrow down. And the rooms will turn to small rooms. And those small rooms will narrow down to hallways. Hallways to, like narrow hallways, as if they're no longer rooms, but maze of hallways. And that's when you've noticed that you are now at level 2. Level 2. So, level 2 is the third level of the Backrooms. It's not the second level, but the third level. Because, remember, the first level is level 0. And level 2 is the third. So, level 2. This level consists of multiple rooms that are hallways. Like, they're not rooms, but hallways. And the hallways are randomly long. It can be long, and they resemble like tunnels from a network of service tunnels. And some of them have like pipes that come out of the hallways that lie clinger along the walls of the hallways. This level is pretty hot, so you may likely to feel burns because the rooms can almost feel like you're boiling inside from the pipes and anything. It looks as if you are deep underground, but essentially you are at a level that's hot. So you have to be very careful here, because if you find an entity, there's a lot of entities, by the way, and if you happen to spot one, you have to run in the opposite direction. Remember, the rooms are hallways now. You have to run in the opposite direction. And don't forget, you don't want to get burned from these pipes. And the lighting is not that great either. There's a section that there may be sections that have lights if you're near a light source, but in between those light sources are completely dark. And imagine you are in a place where there's just a few spots of light, a tunnel that has a few spots of light, and then in between is black. In between those lights are blackness. That's what I am talking about. And you have to avoid as many beings, entities as you can. There is a lot of them. So that is level 3. There are many more levels that are much more bizarre than just the first 3. There's like thousands of levels besides these 3, because these 3 levels, 0, 1, and 2, were the only levels, the most known levels, those levels that were known when the Backrooms creepypasta was young, and where the other levels, let's say level 3 and so on, were not heard of yet. So this is the first part. The next part, I may explain more levels than just these 3. So this will be the end of this video. This is not a coding ASMR video. I kind of wanted to expand my ASMR content a little bit than just coding videos. I will still make coding videos, but once in a while, I'll make some ASMR videos not related to coding to branch things out. So, if you enjoy, please give it a like. If you got your tingles, comment down below which was your favorite. Stay tuned for the next video.